Good afternoon, it's Nicholas from Gandor Gaming, and a couple of days ago we got introduced to three brand new archetypes in a new deck build set coming out later this year. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's been so busy in my life the last couple of days that I really haven't had a chance to go on a video going over the reveal of these three new archetypes. So, instead of just making one whole video going over all of them, I decided I'm going to dedicate a video each day to all three of these new archetypes and speculate how good or bad they're going to be. So let's start with the one that's most controversial, the brand new flip archetype, Encraft. So if you don't know, we're getting three new archetypes. There's a deck build set, of course. We're still waiting on the last deck build set, the one that's introducing us to Yummy, Dragon Soul, and of course Canines. We're still waiting on that archetypes to come out. However, while Konami is doing that, they're now introducing the next wave or next new cards for the next deck build set, which will probably come out towards like December. Anyway, let's go over the brand new flip archetype, that being, of course, this new ship archetype. Encraft is pretty interesting. When I saw the artwork of all of them, this one's the one that stuck out to me the most. It looks a lot like Cleforts, I'm not going to lie to you. A ship that is like alien in origin, flying through the world, seems pretty cool. The description of this card says it is spaceships on the sins of man, which is like such a cool premise. It's like we are the creations of sins of man, but we're like really cool spaceships. Really brings me like some godly, like mythical themes. It looks like Noah's Ark on the artwork. Really, really cool. And it says it's a flip archetype of revolving around the sins of man. So we'll have to see how they introduce flip archetypes. But honestly, flip has been in a very downward spiral for many, many years now. The last flip archetype we've had meta in a very long time was Subterror. And Subterror hasn't been meta since like 2019, 2018. And that has been like a good 6-7 years ago. And even then, Subterror wasn't even the best deck. It was just a really cool, strong, competitive rogue deck. And we haven't really seen a flip archetype since then. Like, I know we have the crawlers and they got Soma and stuff, but honestly, the flip mechanic has kind of got a little stale over the years. We haven't actually seen any new developments in its mechanic. And unlike other mechanics that people write off as bad, it really has fallen to the wayside. Like many would argue, rituals fall in the same camp. But however, if you haven't paid attention in the last 4 to 5 years, rituals have been having a renaissance. Every new ritual archetype has been advancing the cause for rituals in some weird way. I think ever since they created the archetype of Megalith, they've been really stretching to make ritual archetypes actually pretty good. I know Megaliths never really took off in the TCG just because Rock Dragon, by the time people figured it out, Black Dragon got banned and the deck kind of just never had the strength it had before. But I really do think that every ritual archetype going forward was just really revolutionizing the mechanic, even the bad ones, like Libromancer, for example. I know Libromancer is not a strong archetype, but it did introduce us the idea of ritual summoning using other things besides ritual spells. Like, for example, every monster searches something else, and the field spell is a non-once-return ritual summon card. That's actually really strong. And the fact that the ritual spell also is a field spell that searches is also really, really strong. Nuvellis, another bad ritual archetype. It tributes your opponent's monsters and ritual summons from deck if your opponent targets them for attacks or card effects. That is so cool. I wish the archetype was stronger, but it's such a cool mechanic. And we keep going from there. Like, our best current deck is Mitsurugi, and it is currently a ritual archetype. Ritual summoning from deck, using its ritual spells, and using the really powerful snake cards to actually do some really cool combos with Raziel. It's a really cool deck, and I do just love that we just keep expanding on the ritual summoning. Like, we had the silent, I think it's Silent Souls, or I'm not familiar with the name. It's like Voiceless Voice. That's what it is. That was another ritual archetype. That's like, oh, we ritual summon using old iconic ritual monsters from the past, and we use really cool mechanics like ritual summoning using monsters as spells from our graveyard to copy the effects of ritual spells. It was really cool. And I feel like that's what flip summoning needs. Flip summoning needs a renaissance. We need new flip archetypes trying to basically power creep it, like to bring flipping as a mechanic to the modern day. Now, this is how I personally would make flip summoning good again. Personally, I think flip archetype needs a field spell that allows you to quick effect not once per turn, but once per copy, flip a monster face up or down. That would make flipping a lot faster. Basically, a field spell that would allow them to be like, while this card's on field, once per turn during either player's turn, you can, well, maybe not once per turn, maybe once per monster you flip, you can flip them either face up or face down on your field. Basically saying, let's say you have 5 monsters face down, or 5 monsters on field in general that are on your field. You can, once per turn, flip them either down or up based on how you want it as a quick effect. I feel like that would make flipping a lot faster and a lot more stronger. Another idea is that you can introduce some more special summoning into mechanics. Maybe you can special summon a monster, flip it up, on flip summon 2 more, and just keep going like that. I'm not really sure. I just know flip summoning needs to be faster. There needs to be stronger abilities attached to these monsters to allow you to ultimately play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And what it needs to happen is that it needs to not become a stun deck. That's what my biggest fear is, because if you're a flip archetype, historically you're a stun deck most of the time, which sucks because I really don't want this archetype to become a stun deck relying on floodgate monsters or floodgate spells and traps to be competitively good. I feel like a flip archetype can be combo and can be like mid-range if they give it the correct support. And what I'm afraid is that this archetype being described as the Sins of Man Encraft, it's probably going to be like some stun floodgate flip archetype, and no one's going to be happy going against it, which I don't really want. That's a big stigma to flip archetypes, and I really want them to be good. And I think maybe creating a field spell or a continuous spell to allow you to just quick effect speed flip monsters on your field up or down would be a pretty solid mechanic. Kind of like how the lovely what's that archetype that single summons on your opponent's turn? The Centurions, how they have on summon immediately quick synchro. Maybe you can give them like on your opponent's turn quick effect flip up or down. I feel like that would be pretty good. I don't know. I do think flip mechanics definitely need some love. It definitely needs some renaissance. We'll just have to see. But that's all I got for this video. I'll talk about the other 2 archetypes later. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.